Another reason why I love getting up here and talking to you guys is that we've got to do a better job. We've got to start talking about these things within our profession. We've got to start talking about substance abuse. We've got to start talking about mental illness because we are losing people right and left. And I have a slide coming up here in a minute, statistics that will probably shock you. And I feel like the more we talk about this, the more comfortable people are going to be to come forward, and the more people we can help. 8 years ago on Mother's Day, I attempted to take my own life. It was a shock to my parents. It was a shock to my friends. It was a shock to people that were the very closest to me. I was so good at living a double life. It was imperative to me that no one knew how horrible and tormented I was, and I was an active alcoholic at the time and suffering from depression. And it was so important to me to keep that facade for 2 reasons. One, I wasn't interested in stopping drinking. I liked it. It's how I knew how to deal with my life. I wasn't interested in stopping, and I knew if y'all knew how bad it was, y'all were gonna make me. And number two, I'm a woman litigator. And what's the stereotype women have? We're crazy and we're unstable. So the last thing I wanted to do, I knew my career would be over if I came forward and admitted that I was struggling with depression or mental illness. And so it was imperative for me to keep that covered. And I've got to tell you, I don't remember a time in my life like my earliest memories. I always had up here, still have him, is a hamster in a wheel. And he is always running. And I think our profession attracts a lot of this. You know, our minds don't stop. Makes us good lawyers, right? I mean, our minds don't quit. So I have this hamster in a wheel up here. But my hamster also happened to be a real jerk. And I want y'all to laugh. If you think, she might be trying to be funny, I am. So you can laugh. Because we got to laugh about this stuff. So my hamster was a real jerk. And my hamster would tell me things like, you're a phony, you're an imposter, you're not worth loving, you're an idiot, and if anyone ever knew who you really were, they would never accept you. So that was my narrative. That was the depression, right? It had nothing to do, it did not comport at all. This narrative that I heard over and over again, this tape that replayed, had nothing to do with what was going on in my real life. My objective life, my parents loved me. My God, if I was gluing a pinto bean on a piece of construction paper, they were there. I was popular in school. I was smart enough to get in and out of law school and get a law license, right? So I'm saying this because a lot of times, and I still do this, I'll look in the paper and I'll see that someone has passed by taking their life, and I know them, and I think, my God, their life was so perfect. They had a great career. They had the great wife. Well, that's not how this works all the time. And at least that's not how it worked for me, because on the outside, my life looked pretty dangerous.